Okay, last class we were executing the class. So and we have created the object and we are just printing the rooms value. So but it has to be print the updated. This in the constructor we are changing the values. Initially it will be 0. After that we are changing the rooms values. So there is a spelling mistake. So that's why it was not printing. So ROMMS, but here I am creating one more variable as a ROMS. So when we are debugging also we were seeing the three variables inside the class. So this is 1, 2, and this is one more it was created. So that's why it was printing 0 only. So now we'll check it. So after executed this line, so one object is created. So it's still creating. Before creating, it has to be complete the constructor method. It has to be completely executing the constructor method. So this now it is printed this my home. And then now if you see the variables, so there is a ROOMS. So this is the local variable for this method. So this is the self class which has been created, the object which is going to create actually. So this is having the two variables, kitchen and rooms. So in the rooms, so there is a value as a 3. So just now it is updated to 3 from 0. So in this line, so the room's value was 0. So it's just changed the 3. So now the kitchen value will change to 2. So now that kitchen value also has changed to 2. So now we'll see after this line. So the object is created. So here we can able to see the kitchen and rooms value. So the kitchen and rooms value is 2 and 3. So in the constructor, we have changed the value. So after that, we have printed the rooms. So if we see in the console, it is printing the 3. So we have updated the room value as a 3. So this is a constructor. So constructor means, so whenever we want to initialize something and whenever we want to, when the object is created, if we want to set some values, so in such cases, we use the constructors. So in other programming languages, there is a different type will be there to create the classes. So to create the constructors. So here we use the init method. So in this constructor, we can also pass the parameter also. So, but there is always there should be a self, and along with that we can pass the variables. So when I am creating the object, so I need to pass the values. So we can try in our program. So now I want to pass the room and kitchen numbers. So instead of setting the values by default, when the object is going to create, so that time itself we want to not here. So here there will be a self, and here I take a comma b, or else I can take rooms and kitchen R and K. So when there is a constructor with the two parameters, we should pass the two parameters. So let's run without parameter first. So I get a error missing a two required positions. So I have to pass the two values. So what is the use of this? So when I'm creating the object itself, so I can set that. So for example, for my home, I need 2 rooms and 1 kitchen. So then I just pass 2 and 1. So that same whatever the value comes, so that one I have to set the variable. So I just remove this is I'm just creating the variable, but I am not using. So there is no use. So now let's print the rooms, whatever I am passing, so that it is setting in the object, we can able to see. So I just executed the code. So I got the output 2. So it means that, so whatever I am passing that 2 as a room, so that value is going to set in the class object. So now I create a one more object. So I will make it as a Arun object. So the class name will be the same, but here I make a 3 bedrooms and 1 kitchen. So, and if you print this Arun object property, so my home, it is a 2, and Arun home, it is having a 3 rooms. So, but we are using the same blueprint. So also we can set the home name. So home name I just use as a string. So here only I will get the home name h self dot home name equals to h. So here I have to pass my home name. So home name I just passing as a Harsha. So in this object I have to pass the home name. So now if I execute, so I am getting my home name and home, how many bedrooms are there, and in Arun home name and bedroom, it is, we are not just printing, so we can print that also. So here we can able to see the details. So I think now you are understanding the class and object differences. So class is just a blueprint. So this class is having a rooms, kitchen and home name. But when I am creating the objects, different objects, that is having a different values. But all the home object, it contains the rooms, kitchen and home name, right? So any one of the object also, it is not rejecting, like it is not, that doesn't have the kitchen property or kitchen value. So it's not like that. So whenever you create the object, so that time by default, so these values will come. So not only like these values, so there will also be a methods. So what methods will do? So for example, so this is a constructor. So by method, if I want to fetch it, so I can define a method def get room. So when we want to get the number of rooms, so we can just call the get rooms method. So here also now we are getting the room values 2 and 3. So I think now you have understand what is the class and object, so and what is the constructor also, and how to create an object and what is the difference between the class and object. So class is just a blueprint. So but this blueprint will repeats in each object. Each object contains the rooms, kitchen, and home name, right? So we can create any number of objects. There is no restriction. But when you create an object only, so all these variables will be created. So when we just define the class, so it is just a blueprint. Nothing will be create or no functions will be executed. Only when I create an object and when I use that time, all the variables will get created. Also, I can able to call the methods. So this is the init method is the initial method. So it will when I am creating the object, that time itself automatically this function will be called and this method will execute. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me. So we have completed the create class, create object. So and we have seen the constructor along with the parameters also. So that we call it as a parameterized constructors. So there is a string function controls that should be returned when the class object is represented as a string. Function is not set, the string represents of the object is returned. Okay, so how it will be the string method use? So we can just check it. So in any other programming languages, if you see this, so this type of concept will not be there to get the object object name actually. So when you call this object, so we can return some name actually. So let's check this one only. So, but this is not compulsory, we need to write it. So if you write it, so it will be used like, so we can get some name for that object. So I will just return the home name only. So when I'm printing, so we'll just print the complete object. So when we print the complete object, so it will give the name. So, but in other programming, if you want to print the object, it will show some address and all, some junk values it will show. So because we can't print the object itself, we can only print or we can only access the values inside the class. So it means inside the objects, what are the variables has been declared. So only those values we can access and we can print it. So, but in the Python, what happens when you use the string method? So when this object has been called, so that time it will return this value. So whatever we want, we can give it. So just now I am just giving the house name itself to indicate this object. So that is just to indicate the object. So it is just printed the Harsha. So after this constructor called, so I'm just printing the object itself. So we can debug and we'll see this. So as there is a constructor, Okay, object is created, Harsha object. So now you can able to see. So that object name has been mentioning as a Harsha. So now I will just return the some value. So I will just pass it as a home. So now you can able to see this object name as a home. So for example, now I will change to home name because class name is also the same thing. So that's why I wanted to recheck it again. So if you debug the code, so once the object is created, so that object name is home name. So whenever the object is called, so that time it will indicate by this whatever the string is returning, that value will be mentioned. So now let's check if there is no string. So now the object is created, but now you can able to see this address. So this is the RAM address. So in that address, the object has memory is been allocated for this object. So whenever you want to indicate this object name, so we can use that string method to indicate that. So I think understood this concept of the string. So if any doubts can ask me. So object method we have already seen. So I have just created the get rooms method. So in this get rooms method, I am just returning the room values. Also, we can able to do the set the method set rooms. So self dot rooms equals to. So we can pass the variable for the method. So that value only I will set it. So for example, so initially it is a 2 rooms when the object is created. So after created, I am going to change the value, room value. Set rooms of 5. So after that, if I just print the room value by using the get method, so now the object is created. So in the object, we can able to see initially kitchen is 1, rooms is 2, and house name is Harsha. So because I am passing in the constructor these 3 values. So when I executed this object, so object name is also having home name. So this is the string it is returning. So when the method is called. So after that, so I am just printing the room value. So it is room's value is 2. So home value is, home name is Harsha. So if you see in the console, we can able to see that 2 and Harsha has been printed. So now I am changing the value set rooms to 5. So it means that in this object, rooms value will going to change to 5. So now we can able to see, so the rooms value is changed to 5. So now I am just printing that value. So it is printing as a 5. So like this, we can create the methods inside the classes. Self parameter is a reference to the current instance of the class. So I think we have already used that self. So how it is the use of that self. So use the word my silly object and ABC instead of self. So we'll use and we'll check it if without this self also, so how it will work. So I will delete everything. So I will just keep only one object. So now the object is created. So and now instead of selves, so whatever I am passing, so in that same thing, it has been created the rooms, kitchen and house name also. So it has been set at the values. So now if we see the print, so it is printing the object name as a Harsha name, sorry, home name. So the rooms is also 2. So like this also we can use it. Something, any random name also we can use instead of the self. So modifying the object properties. So modifying the object properties means, so here if I want to change the room value, so we have changed the room value also by using the method, set method. So instead of the set method also, we can directly access it. Object dot rooms equals to 10. So after that, I will just print it. So this object name dot and then the variable name inside the class. So we can access any of the variable name, only object name dot the variable name. Even if you want to use the method also, so first we need to use the object name. After the object name, we have to use the dot object name dot get rooms, set rooms. Any methods we can call. If there is a parameter is required, we should pass the parameters. So now the room value has been changed to 10. So initially it was a 2. So now it is changed to 10. So by accessing the object like this, we can set the value by accessing the member by using this object. So the only this object member value will gets changed. So delete object properties means, so deleting any list, tuple, sets, dictionaries that we were using the del keyword. So here also, if you want to delete the object, so we can use the del keyword, del and then the object name. So here it is deleted, so that's why the object is not showing. So but here I am trying to access it, so it will throw the error. So we can see that error. Harsha object is not defined. So because the object has been deleted by using the TEL keyword. So like this, we can delete the objects. So we can delete the object property also in the Python. I think in other programming languages, I think there is no option to delete the object properties. So here, if you want to delete the object properties, we have to mention by using the object name dot property name. So for example, inside this Harsha object, I just want to delete the kitchen. So then object name dot kitchen. Now let's debug and check it. Okay, so now if you see the object, so still kitchen is showing. CHEN. Okay, object is created with 3 parameters, 3 values. So now the rooms is updated. Okay, so it deleted means, so it's just clearing the value in the debugger. So, but this value will not be accessible, I think. So we'll just try to print that value again. So we can able to get the error if it is not accessible. So now the kitchen is deleted as per the DEL keyword. So then it is printed 0. Okay, so then it is deleting the value itself. So but variable will be accessible. So delete means. So for the property, but when you are deleting the object, so that complete object will be deleted. So only when you are deleting the property, so we can only, it will set the default value. For example, if it is a string or something, it will put the null or none. So but in there is an integer or float, it will make it as a 0. So there is a pass statement. So class definition cannot be empty, but if you are some reason have a class definition with no content, put it as a pass statement to avoid getting the error. So for example, now you are planning to implement in the programming language. So there is a home and one more class you are going to create as a basement. Okay, but still you don't have any plan to implement it right now itself, but you just want to create the class structure you want to with the just a name. So but without adding any code, so you can't able to create. If you create like that, it will give the error. So if you want to just pass it, so you can use the pass. So then nothing will execute. So when we use this keyword, so also we don't get the error. So like this, we can use the pass. Okay, Python inheritance. Inheritance also there is a, in all the programming languages, in all the object-oriented concepts, there is an inheritance future. So inheritance means, so from one class to another class, we inherit the other class properties. So for example, one is a base class and parent class and child class. So what is the parent class? So that is the main class. So child class will extends the properties of the parent class. So if you see any examples, so here they are creating the class person. Here they are not inherited. So and here just they are creating the student class. So student is extending the parent class. So we need to mention the class name within the brackets like this. So then we can inherit the person property from the student class. So inheriting the property means, so we can able to access the parent class methods and also attributes. So attribute means there is a variables. If there is a variables, we can able to access that variables from the child class. So we need to create only the object of the child class. So we can able to access this parent class values also. Okay, so first we'll execute this. So this is the main class. So this is the parent class. So I'm just creating the home. So because home is below this, the interpreter will not recognize that, because as the interpreter it execute line by line, it will not recognize that. So below this home class, I define the basement class and I extends the home. So what happens? So when I'm creating a basement object, I can able to access the home class variables also. So here I am just creating the home class. Instead of that, I just create the basement class object. So here I just print the kitchen value. Okay. So it is printing the value kitchen as a 1. If I set the 4, so it is printing the value as a 4. So even here also we can create a ILLERS pillars equals to 5. When if you want to access the child class variables, so object name dot, so here it is printing the pillar value. So from this object, I am not only accessing the pillars value, also whatever I have extended the home, so those properties also I am able to access it. So I am not creating the object of the home class. So I just created the object of basement class. So I just created only the basement class. So this is the inheritance. So this basement class is, when you create the basement class object, it also inherit the properties of the parent class. So this is the inheritance. What is the use of inheritance means? So like this we can inherit. Also there will be code will be, we can easily segregate the code and it will be very proper structured code. So that's why the use of the inheritance. Okay, so next we'll see the other topics. So we'll continue in the next class. So as for the Deepavali, there is a holiday for me. So till Thursday, I think for you guys also planned for vacation or for your native places. So when we can connect from next Thursday or next Monday. So from Thursday, I can able to take the class. If you guys are having a plan, so we can connect from 31st.